Hi, I'm Matt from Spartan and I'm here to preview the 2015 NRL Finals Series with Brett Kimmorley. So Brett, tell me, a week out from the finals, who's looking the goods and who are the players that are going to be in control?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I think the Sydney Roosters are the favourites at the moment. They're looking like becoming the minor premiers for the third year in a row, which is a massive achievement. I think they've got the most physical forward pack in the competition. And when you're a halfback or a playmaker, you like to play on the back of momentum. So the Roosters forward pack get momentum. Two obviously experienced halves. Mitchell Pearce will probably come back, we think, for week one of the semi-finals. And James Maloney over the last 3 weeks, without Mitchell Pearce being there, has stood up and got 3 man-of-the-match performances. So he's certainly gaining that experience in that big game pressure that he loves. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck is the fullback. Well, he's broken the run meters this year for the Sydney Roosters. Smashed Minicello's record and it's turned into a great ball-playing fullback. So they've got options all around the park. They create momentum and obviously they execute plays extremely well. So the best defensive side, because you've got to be good defensively, but they're one of the best attacking sides in the competition, and momentum is wonderful to play off if you're a playmaker.
Okay, so that's the Roosters, so let's look at the other teams that are in the top 4 in particular. How do you think the Broncos are lining up?
Yeah, I think Brisbane Broncos, you know that Darius Boyd follows Wayne Bennett everywhere. Why does Darius Boyd follow Wayne Bennett everywhere? Because he knows he can do a job and he knows he can handle big game experience. A ball-playing fullback, really important to have a ball-playing fullback because he's like your second 5'8" in your football side. Hunt and Milford, well, their combination as halves is certainly growing. Very exciting young halves. They've been put up in the remarks similar to what Alfie and Kevy were when the Broncos had their greatest period in the 90s. So that's a praising for them. And McCulloch, the hooker, is very dangerous as well. So I think the Broncos have got class all across the park. They play a lot of width in their football game, so they're going to challenge a lot of the defensive sides. And with Milford's individual pace and his ability to blow someone away, that just makes the Broncos halves more scary. So they'll be there. And the Cowboys, well, they're certainly a side that have to be in contention because Granville is probably the buy of the year as the hooker. He's come from nowhere. Dummy half is a great threat. They've got Lachlan Coote as a fullback. Morgan we're unsure about because of injury, but he'll probably play soon. And then they've got the best player in the world, Jonathan Thurston. The bloke that's going to demand probably getting his 4th Dally M is the halfback. So I think if he's in your football side, you've got to be a contender to win the grand final. Playmakers will have a fair say. Normally Clive Churchill medal winners on grand final day generally are the playmakers as well. So they will have a say. They've just got to allow the rest of their football side to get him in the race. And Jonathan Thurston will be desperate to win a grand final. And maybe then that'll put him down as the mantle of the greatest player to ever play our game.
And it looks like the Cronulla are a chance of making the top 4 there, should they win this weekend. How do you think their chances are, particularly on the back of Ennis's performances?
Yeah, well that's right. Well, if they win at home on Sunday afternoon, they guarantee a top 4 spot. And why are Cronulla going so well this year in the last few years? They probably haven't. Is the form of the hooker. They've got Jeff Robson as a halfback that steers you around and delivers the game plan. Jack Bird, the young 5'8", is just a natural footy player. He looks like he's just a freak of a guy that comes up with some things. Michael Gordon is probably in career best form, knowing that he's probably going to leave the Sharks. But Michael Innes is a genuine ball-playing dummy half. A lot of the points come from what Michael Innes does, the attack around the ruck. Physically, for the last few years, Cronulla will out-muscle anyone. They've got a good forward pack. They grind you in victory. And if they get beat generally by a very slow or a very small margin. But the key to Michael Innes being there is he's a dangerous ball player. He's an attacking dummy half. And I think with the current climate of the interpretation of the play the ball being faster, if you've got an active dummy half that will jump, well then you're a very good football side because momentum's good to play off, which Cronulla get. An active dummy half means they get a lot of support. And I think Michael Innes is the reason why Cronulla maybe could be a chance to win the first grand final in their history because players will want to be the first side or in that first side of won ever the first grand final for their football club.
And let's not forget the other teams in the top 8, including the Melbourne Storm, who you won the premiership with in 1999.
That's right, yeah. Well, they're a great coach. Craig Bellamy's had enormous success down there at Melbourne. They train hard. If they get beat, you've got to beat them. They never lose the game by playing bad themselves. So they've got Cooper Cronk and Cameron Smith, 2 of the best high-pressure game players in the world. You see what Queensland have done against New South Wales for the last 9 years. It's been on the back of these 2 guys. So very dangerous hooker and a half. Blake Green, I think, has done a wonderful job to help Cooper Cronk. They've actually got some dimensions on both sides of the attack. And Munster's come in on the back of Billy Slater. When Billy Slater was ruled out about 6 or 8 weeks ago, everyone said Melbourne Storm can't win the competition. Well, Cameron Munster is certainly showing us that he is a Billy Slater crone. He's been coached by Billy Slater. He looks quite similar to him. So I think the Melbourne Storm have got to be a contender. And obviously then on the fact that they handle big game experience. The rest of the sides, I think that at the moment, South Sydney, the Dragons, our theory just making up the numbers. I think there's got too many injuries and don't have the cattle or the class in key positions to turn around and form this time of year. And I think the Dogs are another side that maybe are in contention, but that would be because of the physical forward pack, not because of those ball players.
Well, thanks, Brett. It certainly is an exciting time of year, NRL's finals time. All the best to your team.
Thanks, mate. Look forward to it.
So keep in touch with the NRL finals. Visit spartansports.com.au.